seen his demo. He just did $14,000 in 2.5 days. Let's go.
Okay. So, Nicole, did Sally tell you how the whole scholarship thing worked?
No.
A little bit, not really at all?
Yeah, she told me that you were doing something with it, but not really how it works.
Okay, got it. Cool, so is it okay if I just tell you a little bit how the scholarship thing works?
Yeah, sure.
Alright, perfect. So, the way Cutco works, it's like the most competitive college recruiting company that there is in like the entire nation. Like over the course of a year, they'll recruit like close to 100,000 college students. And like each semester it's like 40,000 in the summer, it really gets booming. And they give scholarships out to the top 25 during the spring and the fall, and the top 50 in the summer because there's more students working. So it's really, really competitive. And you see right here, I finished number 18 in the nation in the spring of 2011, right? But my goal is, what do you think?
Number one.
Number one, right? So Rob's a great kid, like we're really close, I talk to him all the time, really great friendly competition, but that's my goal, to be number one. So, you know, the way it works is when you get to a certain point in your Cutco career, Cutco starts to match half of whatever you sell. So I sold $52,000 worth of Cutco this semester, so I earned $26,000, most of which for me goes to school because I go to a private college. And then if you're in the top 25, you get a little bit more as well. Okay? So, you know, the whole scholarship thing, it's definitely great. You know, it's definitely hasn't been the Girl Scout cookies for me. So, but, you know, I'm going to be pretty brief with you, Nicole. I know you're, like, you know, really busy, and I really appreciate you taking the time out of your schedule to sit down with me. So I'm going to be really brief. Like, there isn't much fluff in my presentation. You know, I'm pretty direct. Is that okay with you? Like, I'm just going to get to the meat and potatoes. I'm going to show you some of the product. I'm going to tell you how it works, and we'll move from there. Okay?
Okay.
All right, perfect. So, my main goal, Nicole, is that you're just comfortable enough with me and you believe enough in the product line that you're willing to introduce me to people. Because I can't randomly cold call people, I can't knock on doors, anything like that. I can only sit down with people that I've been personally introduced to, just how Jessica introduced me to you. So at the end of the presentation, I'm going to ask you if you know anybody's just nice enough to sit down with me, just like you are. And you know, we'll worry about that at the end. But my main goal, and like I said, the most important thing to me is just introducing me to people. My main goal was to do 135 presentations during the spring. I know if I did that, I would finish number one in the scholarship award race. So that's my main goal, to do 135 presentations. But I can't work hard. Like I promise you, I'm going to work my butt off. But I can't work hard without help from my customers, because I can't cold call people, I can't knock on doors, anything like that. I can only sit down with people that I've been personally introduced to, like I mentioned. So I need help from all my customers. And most of the people that I sit down with are really busy. So if I'm calling one person for one time, I'm likely not going to be able to get it. But if I'm calling multiple people, hundreds, thousands of people, it's much more likely they'll be able to fill my entire schedule and win the scholarship that I was talking about. Okay? So as you see right here, I knew if I did 135 presentations, I'd earn the scholarship. And you see right here, this is my happy customer list. And you probably recognize a bunch of people here. You recognize people?
Hillary.
Oh, Hillary. Yeah, Hillary was introduced to me by Caroline Walker. Do you know Caroline too?
Sounds familiar.
Caroline, Elizabeth Mitchell, like they're all the same clique. Yeah, they all wind up, you know, seeing something that they liked and you know, getting it for them today. And my main goal was, or my sales goal was to sell $40,000, but I actually surpassed that. So I didn't finish number one. I finished number two in the entire nation. I know it stings. Next semester will be better, but it's because I didn't do the 135 presentations like I talked about. I did like 120, so it makes sense that I didn't finish at my goal. So most people buy their knives sort of how I buy my baseball equipment. So I go to Baseball Express, which is a name that I trust, and I look for my favorite brand, which is Rawlings, and I look for the most expensive glove. And I assume if it's pretty expensive, it's probably what?
Better.
Pretty good quality, right? Most people do the same thing with their knives. They equate price with quality. So as you see right here, this is a set from Williams and Sonoma. This is a set of Henkels. It's $5,800 for 4 pieces. Now, if you want to be the best, you have to compare yourself to what? The best. So this is $5,800 for 4 pieces. But the sad thing is, this stuff, brand new, doesn't cut as well as old Cutco. Now, all these brands, as you see right here, here's another couple of sets that you've probably heard of. You ever heard of Wusthof or Shun, any of those brands? Yeah. So as you see right here, this is Shun. As you see it, for a basic size shine, it's like $4,300. You find it on sale a couple times a year for like $2,800. You know, Christmas and Thanksgiving, right? And then you find your set of wood stuff. It's like $3,270. You find it on sale for like $2,000, like Christmas and Thanksgiving. So the thing is, where are all these knives made? The ones that I just mentioned.
I don't know.
Not here in the U.S. I'll tell you that much. They're all made in like Europe or like Asia, overseas. So really, you're paying for shipping to distribution to manufacturing to retailing to wholesaling. Then it has to come overseas. Then it gets to warehousing, to shipping, to manufacturing, to distribution, to retailing, to wholesaling. Then it gets to Williams and Sonoma. And what do you think they do?
Retailing, packaging.
Yeah, they mark it up again. So, you know, Cutco, I don't know the exact numbers, but I'd venture to say is like 3 to 4 times more expensive to make than Henkel's or Woodstock or Cutco or anything like that. But all of Cutco's made in the U.S., so it's factory direct. All the prices are factory direct. With these brands, you're paying a lot more for how the knives got to your kitchen than you're paying for the actual knives. With Cutco, everything's factory direct, so the price doesn't wind up being ridiculous because we eliminate all those middlemen in between. Okay? So as you see right here, this is like a basic set of All-Clad. Are you familiar with All-Clad?
Yeah, my mom actually used to have all that.
Yeah, All-Clad's awesome stuff. Like if I know about Cutco, I definitely go out and get myself a set of All-Clad. This is like, you know, basic size like $5,800 or $5,500. You know, definitely great stuff. So like I said, most people shop for the knives the same way. They go to Williams and Sonoma, they see the set for $3,000, they see the set for $5,000. They don't have time, like nobody vigorously shops for the value in their knives. They just go to Sonoma, they see a set that costs $3,000, they see a set that costs $5,000. They're like, the set that costs $5,000, probably better, and they just make the decision right there on the spot. They're not like looking through all the knives, like what am I getting in this package? They understand that they're package sets. So I'm going to tell you some of our packages. I'll show you some of the options that we offer. All I'm asking, please don't touch. I'm going to tell you about everything. Okay? So I'm going to show you some of the packages, and we'll go from there. Like I said, just keep an open mind. That's all that I'm asking. Okay? Because it's kind of hard to talk amongst deaf ears. And as you see right here, have you ever heard of Cutco knives before?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. Do you know somebody that owns it?
Yeah, a lot of the
Obviously.
girls around here own it.
Yeah, most people I sit down with at least own Cutco or have heard about it. Everybody knows the knives are amazing. Like, everybody knows Cutco is awesome. And this is our complete set right here. It's our best set. It's actually one of my customers. Do you watch baseball at all?
Not really.
Not really. Do you know Mariano Rivera, right? Well, he's the best closer ever, and he's one of my customers. That's what I love about this job. It's like I could sit down with the coolest, most powerful people, and they're so open to sitting down with me because most of the time they're willing to help other people out because, you know, for them to get to where they are, somebody helped them out. So they're really open to sitting down with me. So you see right here, this is his set. Do you know Catherine Pearl? Catherine, this is her set, and this is Craig Madison's set. Do you know Craig?
No.
Or Chris Pia? No, I just thought I'd throw them out there. Maybe they sound a little bit familiar, but you know, Cutco knives are amazing. There's no denying that. Next, have you ever heard of waterless cookware?
Yeah.
A little bit. It's
bit.
pretty new. I didn't know about it, but all Cutco is waterless cookware. You ever cook like broccoli or asparagus, and you know you cook it, and it's that like green, murky, like cloudy water that comes
in the water, yeah.
Yeah, that's like you pouring out like 90% of the nutrients. And you know, I don't eat broccoli because I love the taste. I eat it because it's good to supplement my diet. But when you're cooking it and you're pouring out like that water, it's that green, murky, cloudy stuff. That's like you losing pretty much the purpose of why you're eating it, and you're not retaining all those nutrients. With Cutco, all of our pots, we use waterless cookware. So if you're cooking broccoli or asparagus, you use like no water or just like a splash of water, and a vapor seal forms at the top. And all the food cooks in its own juices. So it retains all your nutrients, vitamins, minerals, so your greens are greener, your sweets are sweeter, everything tastes so much better with Cutco cookware. But the thing that really hits home with a lot of people about Cutco cookware is the way it heats. So you said you heard All-Clad, right? Do you have any of the product?
Yeah, I think I have a couple of pieces.
Right. One thing, like I told you, if I didn't know about Cutco, I'd definitely go out and get myself a set of All-Clad. But one thing that I have heard, it is pretty heavy. Is that pretty true?
Their frying pans are really heavy.
Yeah, they're really heavy, right? Not to mention the water weight on top of that. So the reason that is because they have a 7-ply construction, so it's 7 different layers of steel. So literally, if you put your finger on the bottom of an All-Clad, though, the bottom would get very hot instantaneously, but the sides wouldn't. with Cutco, one of our layers is aluminum, which is one of the best conductors of temperature and heat. That's why we like to use it for wiring in our home and stuff like that. But it's really, really expensive to use. That's why no other companies use it. But it is one of the best conductors of heat. So if you put your finger on the bottom of an a Cutco pan or pot, on the bottom and the sides would be hot. So it actually cuts cooking time in half. So I'd imagine at your kids' age, they probably don't need anything too extravagant, right?
No.
No, it's like chicken nuggets and
Yeah.
nuggets and stuff.
Microwave.
So, yeah, exactly. So for small stuff, you don't have to heat up the entire kitchen. So like 10 minutes on high with All-Clad is like 5 minutes on low with Cutco. Now, it's great for people that like to cook healthy because it retains all the nutrients, minerals, stuff like that. But I think it's even better for people like you and everybody else in Fairfield and Westchester County who just don't have any time on their hands because it cuts cooking time in half. So I know that's really, really valuable too.
Yeah.
And most people don't know this, but your nutrients and stuff burn after 150 degrees. So when you're eating all these like vegetables and stuff, you're really not accomplishing the purposes that you wanted when you set out to actually eat them. So that's why Cutco cookware is really healthy. And then next, this is our flatware, and also a couple of your friends own the cookware. Do you know Riri Corcoran?
Mhm.
Or Catherine Pearl? Craig Madison? Yeah, they own the cookware.
Huh.
Yeah, maybe it rings a bell, but they
Yeah.
love the cookware. They rave about it. Next is our flatware. You know, as you can tell, it's obviously gorgeous. It's 1810 stainless. Now, if you ever had the opportunity to price find 1810 stainless, it's usually like $200 to place setting if you go to like Williams and Sonoma.
Mhm.
But as you see right here, go ahead and hold it. Pretty light, right?
Mhm.
Now, it's obviously elegant, gorgeous. It's sort of like the special occasion flatware you can
Mhm.
use every single day because it is that functional and that light. All right, go ahead, pick up the forks and the spoon. Really nice, right?
Really light.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so it's really functional, able to use at the table every single day. And Cutco, because it is factory direct, is closer to $100 place setting as opposed to $200 to $250 for most other brands. So Carolyn Whaling has the flatware, Patty Coughlin, Kathleen Wallace, they love this stuff, like it's gorgeous. And then you have this stuff at the bottom, you know, pizza wheels, vegetable peelers, stuff like that, serving accessories. I feel like people replace this stuff like every other month.
Yeah, I've gone through a couple.
Yeah, right? Exactly. And then Cutco also makes a great gift. So, as you see right here, whenever I try to get a gift for somebody, I try and think of three things. First, are they going to like the product? Of course they're going to like the product. It's Cutco. It's awesome, right? Secondly, are they going to use it? You know, knives aren't something that you use like every once in a while. You use your knives 3 times a day to prepare food every single day. So if you're going to use your knives more often than like Tiger Woods is going to use his golf clubs, right? And then lastly, are they going to remember me for it? Because how often do we get gifts from like our Uncle Joe like 6 holidays ago, and we like totally forget how we got it?
Yeah.
Happens all the time, right? So with Cutco, everything can be engraved. I can't tell you how many gifts I've sold in the last week. We have this fishing knife, and you know Claire Mulcahy, right?
Uh-huh.
Like her dad and her husband are both big fishers, and they both have boats. So she got it engraved with their boat's name on it. Like how
Oh,
cool is
that's
that?
awesome.
Isn't that a really good
Yeah.
idea? So yeah, people like to get them as gifts as well. But let me just give you the whole presentation in like 10 seconds. So people replace their knives like 4 times in their life, their cookware 3 times in their life, their flatware twice, and these kitchen gadgets, it seems like every other month. So what I tell people is, have you ever heard of the waterproof iPhone?
No.
No, right?
No.
You probably never heard of it. But you know, let's think about it. If you were going to spend like $6,000 on a set of knives, what kind of guarantee would you want to have?
A really good one.
Like what? How long usually?
Like a lifetime.
Like a lifetime guarantee, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, most people would want a lifetime guarantee. And let's think about it. How many products do we know that actually have a lifetime guarantee?
There's a couple out there.
Off my head, I can think of like LL Bean, and
Uh-huh.
like then I'm sort of coming up blank. But like if we sat here and brainstorm, we could probably come up with a couple more. But there's really not that many products with like a lifetime guarantee, right?
Mhm.
So, you know, I mentioned the waterproof iPhone before. You never heard of it, right? That's because it doesn't exist. But I know, according to my research, it's like $12 to $15 to waterproof every single iPhone. But I don't know the numbers exactly. I would venture to say that 10 to 20% of Apple's business is off replacement off water damage. Why would they take 10 to 20% of their business off the top for $12 on every iPhone? Does that make sense?
No, definitely not.
No, and they'd be crazy to put a lifetime guarantee on it, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's going to lose them a lot of money in the long run. But that's exactly what Cutco did. They put a forever guarantee on all their products. So it's a little bit different. So, basically what that means is it's a one and done sort of deal. I realize that people are going to wind up spending the money on stuff that isn't as high quality as Cutco anyway, because people replace this stuff all the time and it doesn't have guarantees. So what I tell people is just be done, have the peace of mind, and just invest in Cutco. You're never going to have to replace it ever again. Have the peace of mind of knowing that you're going to have Cutco in your kitchen and it's going to be consolidated with the best products, so it makes it easier, faster, more efficient when you are actually in the kitchen. So that's what I tell people, and that's why people invest in high quality packages of Cutco, because they understand that it is an investment. They're never going to have to purchase another thing ever again. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it definitely makes sense.
Okay. So like I said, I'm going to show you some of our packages as well, and we'll go from there. Okay?
Mhm.
And one more thing about the Forever Guarantee, basically what that means, so if like your husband like somehow managed to like ship the top of this paring knife, sometimes people misuse it as like a screwdriver and stuff like that,
Yeah.
send it back to the company, they'll fix or replace it absolutely free.
Oh, really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
And if, say your husband, like he's taking the turning fork and somehow, like after 20 years, I'm not saying that it would, but somehow manages to scratch the pan or tarnish it, send it back, the company will take at the scratch, fix or replace it for you.
Huh.
And I'm not going to lie to you, Nicole, there's no knife that stays sharp forever. Okay? So basically, Cutco covered that too. Send the knives back. We'll get them fixed, sharpened, replaced for you, polished, rebuffed, everything for you, absolutely free. And if you ever felt that the knife needed sharpening, give the company a call, or you can call me. I'll come resharpen your knives for you as well, so that way you never even have to worry about that. And if I'm not in the business anymore and I'm working on my mansion, I'll definitely make sure that there's somebody waiting in the wings for you, okay?
Okay.
Cool. So I'm just going to show you some of the options of what we have as well, and we'll go from there. Okay. So this is our complete set. This is our best set. It's the best value per knife. I mentioned Mariana Rivera before. So as you see right here, it's people like getting it with the engraving right on there. So for Nicole and Mrs. Spellman or Mr. Spellman, so whoever that may be. And as you see right here, this is our best set. It's the best value per knife. And everything comes in the pearl as well. You see right there?
Yeah.
I think it's beautiful. I always joke around with people when I have my own Cutco kitchen in the future. I'm going to have the cherry block with the pearl handle knives. Beautiful. I'm telling you. Like, you can copy me if you'd like. A lot of people have. It's awesome. So, as you see right here, I'm not going to go through all the names and uses of these knives. They're prepackaged practical sets that have your basic stuff. Like you have a knife for tomatoes, you have a bread knife. Like you just have basic stuff in here. But I will go over some of the highlights for you. Okay? So first tool in your package is a paring knife. Okay? It's more for like in the air paring. It's not as really great for on the board paring. So like paring an apple in the air, getting the eyes out of nectarines. Pretty comfortable, right?
Yeah, definitely.
It's a longer handle than most people are used to. Next, you can put that down. We like to call this mom's best friend.
Why is that?
Well, this is one of my favorite tools. Like, I'll tell you, I really don't cook that much, but I love this one. This is mom's best friend because you ever make sandwiches for your kids and you have to take out like 3 different utensils?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this, you could go and get your peanut butter and jelly, smear it all over your sandwich, cut the crust off or cut it down the middle, all with one tool. Really flexible. So it's great for serving like brownies, casseroles, baking, icing a cake and whatnot. I love that tool. I use it all the time.
This is great.
Yeah, I love that thing. Next tool in your set is your Hardy slicer, and we're going to do a quick cutting test. So what I need you to do, I need you to get me your favorite straight edge, your favorite serrated edge, and one of your steak knives. And if you could also have one of your kids, I'm going to do a quick trick for them. Just have them bring me a penny.
Okay. I think there's a penny in the drawer.
So we're going to use rope because it's very similar to food in the way that it's fibrous and interlocks. But I don't know if you knew this, it's not actually the food that you're cutting that dulls the knives. It's the cutting surface. So if you're cutting on like a glass cutting board or like China plates, that'll dull out your knives way faster than anything else you could possibly be doing. So what we're gonna do, I need you to follow my directions closely, okay, Nicole?
Okay.
So what I want you to do with the straight edge, I want you to go from the back of the blade all the way to the front, press down as hard as you can, full strokes back and forth. We're just gonna count how many strokes it takes to cut this rope, okay?
Okay.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
I have to go through this whole thing.
When's the last time you sharpened your knives?
I can tell you, I don't think we have.
Yeah, because it's pretty inconvenient, right?
Yeah, I never really thought about it.
Yeah, nobody really has time to go and sharpen their knives all the time. Okay, so, I'm not going to force you to continue, we'll be here all night. But,
Okay.
as you see right here, it does offer a cleaner cut,
Uh-huh.
and that's the advantage of the straight edge, it does offer a cleaner cut. So,
So
the thing about the straight edge is that every time it's the cutting board, it continues to dull. So if you go onto like a Henkel's or Westhoff or a Shun website, it'll literally say on the website, they suggest that you quote unquote upgrade your knives every like 5 to 10 years. It's pretty much like a nice way of saying like go out and buy like another $3,000 to $5,000 set of knives like every 5 to 10 years. I just don't think that's practical. I don't know about you. But next we're gonna go ahead and give it a try with the straight edge. I want you to do the same thing for me. I want you to go from the back of the blade, right? Back of the blade, all the way to the front, press down, full hard strokes.
Jeez.
Okay, so like one through a lot quicker, right?
Yeah,
But was it difficult or was that difficult?
definitely difficult.
Definitely difficult, right? And as you notice, it was sort of jagged while going through, and you were like
Yeah.
struggling. And like look at the cut, really ragged and frayed cut, and look how the rope got all over the cutting board. And I don't want you to get into this controversy. It's like when we want to cut the meat, it's like we reach for the straight edge, and then you reach for it, and you're like, this can't cut for anything because it's so dull. But I want a cleaner cut, and then you go for the straight edge, and you're like, but I don't want to rip and tear my meat, right? So Cutco solves some of those problems. So what I want you to do, I want you to do the same thing for me. I want you to go from the back of the blade all the way to the front, press down as hard as you can.
Okay.
Okay. Wow, pretty quick, right?
Yeah.
That's like not even a full stroke. That was pretty cool.
That's crazy.
So see, what about the cut?
It was really clean.
Really clean cut, right? Now, as you see right here, this is one of the reasons why people like Cutco is the design of the blade. We're the only cutting company in the world that offers this design blade. The way it works is the cutting is done in between the points, and the points are designed to be dull. So that's why I can literally hold it in my hand like this. I can poke the tips because they're designed to be dull.
Huh.
The cutting is done in between the points, backwards, forwards, as well as straight down simultaneously. That's why it cuts like a straight edge, because there's 3 straight edges on the inside, but also like a straight edge because it has the ridges. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that
Okay.
makes sense.
So literally, I could beat up on the cutting board, and I have no fear that it's going to lose any of its sharpness because the tips are designed to absorb all the impact. Does that make sense? Because I know the first time I heard it, I was like, totally don't understand.
No, it makes sense.
Okay, perfect. So I'm not going to lie to you, Nicole. Like I said, knives do need sharpening, but the thing about the double D edges is that these will stay sharp for closer to 10 years because the way the tips are designed, and the straight edges will need to be sharpened like once every 5 years, which, like I mentioned, is absolutely free with the purchase of the product. And like I said, 5 years is much better than like you probably have to resharpen your knives before or after every single use.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely need to be sharpened right now.
Yeah, absolutely. So this one right here, this is your Hardy slicer, right? And the Hardy slicer is great for all the tough stuff. So like a squash, or like dry meats like a sausage, a pepperoni, a supersod. We also like to call this man's best friend. Is your husband like doesn't really cook that much, but he's the grill guy?
Yes.
Yeah, he's the grill guy, right? This is the grill. Yeah, this is the grill knife. Like go out on the barbecue, use it. So definitely have something that you like in your package that he can use. And you know, people just like the weight of it.
Yeah, it's not too heavy, but
Yeah, you could
sturdy.
definitely have. Yeah, exactly. Sturdy is a great word for it, and it's also great for like bigger utility carving. And so the next tool in your set is the Petite Santoku. So
Oh, that's so cute.
yeah, this is the one that people really like for the chopping and stuff. As you see right here, it has a downward tip. You ever watch like Rachel Ray or like any other professional
Yeah,
chef?
I love Rachel Ray.
Yeah. Do you ever notice like how fast they chop and stuff? She actually loved Cutco before she had her own line. There's an
Mhm.
article about it online. So it has a downward tip, so you could like drag it through your head of celery, right? But it has a curved blade as well, so it naturally rocks back and forth,
Mhm.
right? So it's great for like chopping, dicing, mincing, and yeah, how's that feel?
Oh, this is nice.
Nice, right?
Nice and small.
Now, I will give you this knife for free if you can tell me what the handle material is made out of. Unlimited guesses. I've never had anybody guess it.
I don't know. Is it like a plastic material?
If it was plastic, I'd be giving it out all day. Right?
I don't know. I mean, if it's not plastic, I don't know what it really looks like.
You give up?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't really know what it is.
Okay, no, that's totally fine. It's actually, you don't think you know what it is, but you actually do. It's like the coolest stuff in the world. It's called thermoresin. It's pretty much very similar to the material they use in like professional football helmets, bowling balls, pool balls. You ever seen any of that stuff break?
No.
You're a Jets fan, right? You
Yeah.
ever seen two players on the Jets like collide and their helmets
Oh my
combust,
gosh,
right?
yeah.
It just doesn't happen, right? This stuff is completely indestructible.
They're really
Like,
sturdy.
I would literally have no fear in dropping this on the floor right now and be completely fine because it's really sturdy. Okay?
Yeah,
And all of Cutco's dishwasher safe, so that's definitely a huge plus. Save you a ton of time in the kitchen along with the cookware.
Mhm.
And as you see right here, we use silver for our rivets. There's only a few other companies that use silver for rivets as far as I know because it's the second most expensive steel to use next to gold. One other company I know that uses silver rivets is NASA spaceships for their bolts.
No way.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
Oh
So
my
you have
gosh.
bowling ball handles with NASA spaceship rivets on your kitchen set of knives. How cool is that?
That's
Come
pretty
on,
cool.
that's pretty cool, right? So the next tool, I know you've been looking at it like, what the heck is this thing,
Yeah,
right? So this is my college roommate's favorite knife because it's a bottle opener. No, I'm totally kidding. Actually, I'm kind of not. It does open bottles. But this is our cheese knife. You ever cut cheese and it gets stuck like halfway through the blade?
Yeah, I guess I never really noticed it before because I never cut with anything
Yeah,
else.
kind of hard, right? But I don't want to get technical here. But you see the difference in the blade, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is our micro double D edge, so it's literally twice as fine. So it leaves twice as thin of a cut. And it has these perforated holes, so there's no friction or suction while cutting through any of the denser objects. Okay?
Oh,
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's great for like denser stuff like, you know, a potato or like cheese like I mentioned. You could also spread it at the top. So people really like that. Alright. And I asked you to get your steak knife for me. Have you ever heard the expression steak is tough as shoe leather?
Well, I would never tell my husband that his is, but yeah.
Okay. So usually I like to get the kids involved. So like I mentioned before, you know, so Alejandro, come over here. Show you this really cool trick. So these right here, these are our super shears.
Mm-hmm.
They come apart for easy cleaning, so your mom can put them in the dishwasher, right?
Oh boy.
They're blown at the tip for safety. They're meant for big hands, small hands, lefty, righty. They're great for things inside the kitchen, so like if mommy's quartering a chicken, but they're also great for like if you play with any toys or like video games.
Mm-hmm.
You know that tough security plastic that's like so hard to open up?
Yeah.
It's perfect for that stuff too. And do mommy and daddy ever drink wine?
All the time.
All the time, right? Don't worry, everybody says the same thing. So, if you're the proud owner of Cutco Shears and the wealthy owner of a penny, and mommy and daddy happen to drink wine,
No way. Oh my god. That's pretty crazy.
pretty cool, right?
Wow.
Isn't
Yeah,
that
it's
crazy?
pretty sweet. So
Oh my
you
gosh.
got pennies for your brothers and sisters. I'll make one for all you guys. So like I said, I'm gonna have a couple of tricks during the presentation, but I'll definitely call you when I'm doing those tricks. Okay? All right. Perfect. So, all right. So everybody loves the shears. They're pretty awesome. So
Yeah,
for
that's
the,
really cool.
for the next trick or for the next exercise, yeah, you've heard the expression "steak is tough as shoe leather," right? You ever have like that earthquake effect at the table when
Yes.
everybody's trying to cut their steak, right? So what I want you to do, Nicole, I just want you to press down as hard as you can, okay?
Okay.
No ripping or tearing. I just
Okay.
want you to press down as hard as you can.
Okay.
And we're going to see how you cut through
Yeah,
the leather.
we'll see.
Okay. Not really making much of a cut, huh?
No.
Okay, so now what I want you to do, I want you to use one of these ones. Don't judge it by its size.
Yeah. Just the same thing?
Same thing, press down as hard as you can. Okay?
Oh.
Pretty easy, right?
Crazy.
Let Alejandro do it. Come on, get over here.
Wanna try?
Usually I let the kids do it first, but yeah, same thing, press down as hard as you can.
Wow,
Pretty cool, right?
that's so sharp.
Man, you were strong. Give me a high five.
Jeez.
That is awesome. Great job. Cool. So those are our table knives. They're not steak knives. We have two different styles. We have a few different style steak knives. These are our deluxe steak knives. So if people like a more elegant, beautiful look at the table, like a Morton style steak knife, as you see right here, has the monogram right on there. So it's really elegant, gorgeous. What do you think?
Yeah, it's definitely really nice.
Beautiful, right? And then we also have these, which is another style. If this is a little too hefty, we have this one as well. This is like a step down. So these are deluxe steak knives. These are like regular steak knives. Just if people want something more hefty. Then these are our table knives. As you see right here, the way they cut through the leather, they can obviously cut through steak really effectively. But people like something more hefty often. And this is great for like pancakes, chicken. Now the thing I noticed with kids is, usually they don't cut themselves on like the edge. They're just not that arrogant. Usually they'll be like, oh, it's a pointy tip, and that's how they hurt themselves. With Cutco, it has a rounded tip, so you can butter your bread, you can spread, and it's not gonna harm anybody or anything like that. So I'm gonna show you some of the differences between this and the complete set, which is the next one up. And so the paring knife is great for like in the air paring, but it's not as good for it's good for like paring an apple, but it's not as good for slicing an apple. This is why we have our 4-inch paring knife, which is better for slicing an apple and like on the board paring.
Okay.
Feels good in your hand, right?
Yeah, definitely.
That's our hand perfect handle. It's designed by Thomas Lamb. He's the same man who invented polio crutch grips as well as Olympic ski grips.
Huh.
Cool, right?
Yeah.
It's originally designed for people with arthritic hands. So they said it was good for them. Why isn't it good for everybody, right?
Yeah.
So another tool that comes in that set is this one right here. We like to call it the chicken cutlet knife. You cook a lot of chicken cutlets for your kid, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is the chicken cutlet knife, the raw meat knife. It's a boning knife, so it's getting ripe off the bone meats. So it's also great for like butterflying shrimp and stuff like that, and it has a really flexible blade. Next, you have your fillet knife. So for like salmon, it's really flexible, so it can get really close to the skin. People like that. It's really classy.
Yeah.
And it gets the thinnest cut out of actually anything we make.
Yeah, I don't do a lot of salmon, personally.
Got it. I find that, with the complete set, it's better to have and not need than need and not have. I'm not going to tell you you're going to use every single thing in the complete set every single day, but over a lifetime's worth of use, you are definitely going to find use for it. Next tool is your cleaver. Like I said, one of the tools in your set that you're not going to use every single day, but like I said, it's better to have and not need than need and not have. So this is great for like disjointing, turkeys or like cutting bones and stuff like that. Anything tough, tenderizing meat. It definitely has weight for it, so it does all the work for you.
Yeah. It's a little heavy.
Yeah, definitely.
I can see how that would go through bone, though.
And then it also has a little bit smaller bread knife too. Okay, and it comes with 2 extra of the table knives. And I'll show you the basic set as well, which a lot of times people just get for like a second home or like a beach house. Our complete set's for people that like to cook. This signature set, the medium set, is more for people that have to cook, and then the basic set's for people that like hate to cook.
Okay.
So you see right here, this is our basic set. Take out the shears, take out the hearty slicer, take out the petite santoku, and take out the cheese knife, and 2 less table knives. So everything else in the set,
Those are all the ones that I liked.
those ones that you like, well, that's why this is why we made the set, because they were the most customer requested tools that people were buying, so they decided to put the set together. That make sense?
Okay.
Cool. So, as you see right here, and our best deals are definitely our packages. So as you see right here, whenever somebody buys in bulk, they obviously get a discount. So we have our packages. We have our, our best package is pretty much purchasing everything in the Blue Book. You're never gonna have to get anything ever again. Do you understand that? Ever again. Cutco is one of the only products that actually appreciates in value over time. Can you name any other products that appreciate in value over time?
No,
Not really,
not
right?
many.
So our best package would be the complete set of knives, complete set of cookware. As you see right here, all of the hunting, fishing, gardening accessories as well,
Uh-huh.
and several place settings of the flatware. Okay, and that would be closer to like $10,000, and it'd be like $2,000. Everything's done on our payment plans. Okay, so it's like $2,000 a month, but realize that you are paying to never ever have to get anything ever again. Okay, so you're getting it all done in one shot. That's like done, one and done sort of a deal. That's the way Cutco is. So, do you think that that package would be best for you, or do you think? What do you think? Tell me.
For
what you think.
everything, I don't think so. I mean, I definitely love the knives.
Okay.
I do have some all-clad stuff that I'm inheriting, so I mean, I get the stuff behind the cookware, but I just don't think I need it right now.
Okay. So, based upon your needs in the kitchen, you would say this set's the best for you right here.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So, did you like the chocolate or the vanilla?
Well, what did you say about the cherry block?
Yeah, the cherry block with the pearl handles.
Yeah. Because I do like the white.
Yeah, definitely. I love the white. So what I'm getting is you like this, and now let me go over the prices. So this is like $2,200 in full. It's like a little bit over $400 a month, and that everything is done on the 5 pay. So you're not even gonna see the money taken out. It's just gonna be taken out one time a month for the next 5 months,
Mhm.
and then it's done. So did you want that with or without the flatware?
Oh, what's the flatware going for?
It's 5 table settings of, or excuse me, 12 table settings of 5. So a bigger dinner and bigger dinner fork and a bigger spoon as well. And there's 12 table settings, and that is like $1,200 a month, or like a little bit give or take. And like I said, like $100 a place setting, as opposed to like Williams and Sonoma, where it's closer to like $200 to $250 a place setting. It comes with a beautiful cherry chest to match your cherry block.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
Yeah, I like the flatware.
Okay. Got it.
Now,
Mhm.
I would get these ones and
Yeah.
the ones
So
like
you would
this?
never have to worry about not having table knives for people again. You know how sometimes you have that crisis of like, oh my God, who gets the good table knife? Right? Like you never have to worry about that ever again. Trust me.
Yeah.
So I am required to flip through the entire book and show you some of the gifts and accessories as well. A lot of people like to get gifts for people as well and just like stack their closet with Cutco just because it happens. We don't intend it for it to happen, but it happens all the time. It's like, oh my God, Susie's shower's coming up and I totally forgot to get her a gift. And then you just have it right there. It's a great gift. So a lot of people like to get table knives. So who do you have to get a gift for that's coming up?
My daughter's getting married.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Cool. Now, like I mentioned, Cutco is the only thing that appreciates in value over time. You know, what I would suggest is just absolutely getting her Cutco. That way she never has to worry about knives ever again, and she saves money for the rest of her life. You know, you'd be a good mom if you did that. So, you know, what set do you think is the best set for your daughter?
She doesn't really love to cook, but I
So
really like.
maybe like a basic?
Well, I know she'll like the cheese knife. Because I think that this one would be good because, I mean, the basic doesn't really have a lot of stuff in it.
Yeah, totally understand. This comes with all the good stuff. Okay, cool. So this is like $1,600 in full, and it's like a little bit over $300 a month.
Okay.
So
So wait, how much is that then a month?
this is like
For
a
all of
300. Okay, so it's probably going to be closer to like, so you're right now you're hovering around like $700-800 a month. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So back to the gifts. So that'd be great, and people like getting a lot of this stuff. Yeah, these are great, like small little gift packs. Just keep in your closet. People like this. I call it the college kid set because I totally don't cook that much, but like I use my shears all the time, and I love making sandwiches. So I can cut up my progress reports and make sandwiches. And then you have like sort of your gifts and accessories. And like I mentioned, people replace this stuff all the time. This is our ice cream scoop. Actually melts an ice cube right on contact because it has that aluminum lining that I was talking about, right? So, and it comes with an extra cheese knife. Everybody loves this. You give it away as a gift. The pizza wheel. People don't hate their pizza wheels. They hate cleaning them. All Cutco's dishwasher safe. The wheel comes out, so it's very easy to clean. And the vegetable peeler peels both ways. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
What did you think about this?
Well, I was thinking about maybe just getting her everything that she needs for the kitchen, so that way she can get started off with it.
Gotcha. Do you want to get her cookware too?
I don't know about cookware. I mean, that seems like a lot since she doesn't do a lot of cooking.
Got it. Totally understand.
But
So you think like maybe like a basic set of cookware, or?
Well, what comes in a basic set?
Yeah, I'll totally show you. So see right here, this is like our basic set of cookware, and this is like $1,300 as opposed to like an all-clad, which would probably be closer to like, I don't know, like $2,500. This is like $1,300, and it's like $270 a month on the deposit plan.
And she could try that to see how she likes it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
You want to do that too?
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna have to get her cookware anyway, so.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, like I said, Cutco's a one and done sort of deal. Like I understand that it is an investment right now, but you're never gonna have to purchase anything ever again. And the baking stuff, as you see, this is one of the baking tools right here. Got everything engraved. Has a double D edge, so it's able to cut. So it's a great pie server.
Yeah, I think we might wait off on that.
Okay, got it. Well, this might be one of the things I'd be able to give you for free.
Oh, okay.
So if you did really like it, we'll definitely take it into consideration. So I'm just required to flip through the entire book. Okay. You have your kitchen tools, your garlic press. You press garlic?
Yeah. We're a garlic family.
Everybody loves the garlic press. Like I notice most people don't press garlic, but if they do, they appreciate like a really good garlic press. So this is our garlic press, which is also dishwasher safe.
Yeah, my Henkel's one actually just broke.
Yeah, that happens a lot. So as you see right here, it's very easy to clean, and it's heavy duty as well.
Oh, wow. You said it's dishwasher safe?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, mine broke apart in the dishwasher.
Cool. So you know what? I'll give that to you for free with your purchase.
Oh, really?
Yep. And as you see right here, this is our barbecue set. I know the husbands really like it. Do you know Jen Lau or Lisa Conrad?
Yeah.
Jen actually got to say her husband's name on it. And
No way.
yeah, Lindsay Condren, she has a house up in Cape Cod.
Uh-huh.
So she actually got to say Camp Condren right on it. How cool is that?
That's funny.
That's awesome, right? What do you think about the barbecue set?
Might do that for Father's Day.
Okay, like, do you want to do that now? Like I said, you know, you're getting the best deal on everything now. And you'd have to pay separate shipping again.
I think we'll hold off on it for now.
Okay, totally understand. And then you have your hunting knives. We also make the knives for you as military. How cool is that?
That's
Do you know Melissa Alamo
Uh-huh.
or Trish Musia?
No.
No. They got these K-bars for their husbands because they get them engraved. And it's just like, for anything like really heavy duty, it's amazing for, right? And as you see right here, this is what the K-bar would look like. People get it engraved, so it's really freaking cool. And it's really heavy duty. And men just really love it. It's like an amazing gift.
Yeah, I don't think you'd really use this, but you would definitely like it.
So,
It's like a Rambo knife.
yeah, do you want to add that on? Or
And you can get it engraved?
get it engraved right with his initials?
Yeah, I might do that instead of the barbecue tool set.
Okay, cool. And then, I've never been fishing in my life, but this thing is freaking sweet. Check this out. So you have your fisherman solution, so you could literally like engrave it right there. Pretty awesome, right? And then a lot of people are going to say like Happy Father's Day 2012 or like with a boat's name or anything like that. And the blade extends from 6 to 9 inches. Pretty sweet. I'm not done. You can grapple a fish's mouth, pick it up by its tail.
Oh, that's funny.
You can sharpen the hook, cut the line. It also floats.
Wow.
So if anybody happened to drop it in the water, you know, float right back up to the top of the water. So it's great for like, you know, if you have a boat or if you want to get it to gift for somebody. A lot of people like to get 2, 3. So what do you think about this? Who do you know that fishes?
I mean, husband fishes, but I'm already doing that, so.
Okay, yeah, maybe something to keep in mind for the future.
Yeah.
And lastly, we also have our gardening tools. Okay? And, you know, I don't know how often you do or don't garden, but one thing that I do hear a lot is that, you know, it's something that's really peaceful. And you see right here, I don't have all the garden tools, but these are our bypass pruners. I always think of one of my customers when I think of the bypass pruners. I think of Mindy Gabriel. Mindy, she like slaved herself in the kitchen and like had carpal tunnel syndrome, right? So the only thing she really had was gardening, like that was her passion. So she literally went over to our garden and just like, you know those wooden dividers for the garden? She just snapped one. She was like, oh my God. So who do you know that gardens? Do you garden a lot yourself?
No, I use a landscaper. But
Get them something nice?
I know that my mom gardens,
Cool.
so
So
that might be a good thing for her.
do you want to do that now? I mean, the thing is that this stuff is forever guaranteed. And how often do people get stuff for gardening? It seems like every year.
All the time. And what's that?
That it comes with a free bag too. So it's something really easy for storage purposes.
How much is that?
This is like a little bit over 200, give or take.
Yeah, I think we could do that for Mother's Day. So it's
Okay.
gonna get her something around that price anyway.
Okay, got it. Totally understand. So what I got thus far, this for you, the medium set for your daughter because she's just starting out, a basic set of cookware for your daughter. I got this for your husband. I got this for you, and yeah, I got the gardening tools for your mom. Am I correct in saying so?
Yeah, I also wanted to do
And the
these
flour
too. Yeah.
included, right? Okay, great. So while I'm writing up the order, what did I say in the beginning was the most important thing to me? How do I sustain?
Introductions.
Right. That's how I sustain my business, right? So what I need you to do while I'm cleaning up is just write down. There it is. What I need you to do, like I mentioned, I do get paid just to show Cutco. So what I need you to do while I'm cleaning up is write down like 500. No, I'm totally kidding. Like 100 names and numbers, right? Of people that just be nice enough to sit down with me, just like you were, and I might be able to give you some free Cutco. In the process, what everybody just tends to do, Nicole, it makes it so much easier for them, is just go, right, and get your directory. That way you have all the names and numbers right in front of you. You don't have to go searching for them or anything like that. And you have it just able to write down right there, right and easy. And do you know Kathleen Long?
Yes.
Kathleen's actually the vice president of the Westchester Country Club. So she was able to totally hook me up. And the thing was, she wasn't even that comfortable giving me names at first. But you remember that email that you got? Like I told her, I promised her that I wouldn't call any of these people until she gave me the okay. Right? So literally there were a couple people that didn't want to sit down with me, like Kathy Sears and Rebecca Mooney. She didn't want to sit down with me. So I honored that and I didn't give them a call. Because like I mentioned, in the scholarship raise, like I don't really have that much time to sit down with people that aren't interested in sitting down with me. Does that make sense?
Right, yeah.
Okay. So let me just get to your place. You know Rodella Hughes?
No.
Cameron Scantrelli. Everybody knows Cameron.
Yeah, she's great.
Jen Lau, Kathleen O'Leary, Trish Musia, Mary Beth Leahy, Nikki Denver, she's awesome. She just moved to the area. Liz Mitchell, Claire Mulcahy, Chrissy Drummy, April Sachs, Chris McCooey, Julie Rogers, Susan McGovern, E.A. Dugan, Jean Romano, Wendy Nagel, Kristen Jowds, Teresa Hutchinson. A lot of these people naming about, ringing
Yeah.
about. Stacey Leahy, Jen Constigan, Katie Pagnani, Lynn Amos, Eileen Kerp, Suzanne Dudek, Catherine Johnson, Cindy Frank Stankus, Amy Hees, Julie Bess, okay, and here is your sheet right here, okay, so I'm just going to get you a pen, like
So
I
you
mentioned.
said I could get free stuff.
Yeah,
So
like
can
I
I
said.
get some of my stuff for
Yeah,
free?
we'll see how many names you come up with. Usually the name that I promote to get something for free, like a vegetable peeler, which I could actually leave with you today, is like 30. So that's usually the benchmark and what people I tend to do. So you should probably just go and get your directory really quick. That way it'll be rapid fire and I'll totally help you out. Okay?
Okay.
Fast forward to when you're actually writing down people, right? So pretend you're writing people down. Okay. So while I'm writing up the order, who do you know that has the nicest kitchen?
Doreen DePaulo.
There you go. Who do you know that just redid their kitchen?
Nancy.
Who do you know that has an all-white kitchen? Because no one's ever seen my hand.
Doreen has an all-white kitchen.
Cool. Anybody else?
Carolyn.
Cool.
Carolyn Toriano.
Cool. So, who do you know that sends their kids to Brunswick?
Brunswick. I don't know anybody that sounds like it's Brunswick.
Oh, okay. What about like Resurrection?
Oh, Kathleen.
Okay. Cool.
Kathleen's son, Harry.
Right. Or who do you know that is part of the Westchester Country Club?
Nobody that I know of.
Linebrook Country Club?
Linebrook, yeah. Joe.
What about Wingfoot?
Wingfoot.
Those are a couple areas that I just haven't been able to network into yet. So I know if I'm able to meet one person, then I'll be able to branch off from
Yeah, call this person then Joe.
Okay.
He'll be able to help you out.
there. Okay, perfect.
He's really nice.
Yeah,
And I think his wife's name is Tracy.
yeah, cool. Thank you. And, this is really how you make an impact on my business. It's just by introducing me to people. I really appreciate it. So
Yeah.
now let's just keep it up. Let's see if you can get to 30 and get that free vegetable peeler.
Yeah.
While I'm writing up the order.
I mean, I know a lot of people in the school system.
Alright, great. Don't worry about if they're going to purchase or not, because they might be able to introduce me to somebody else. That's the main point, is that they may not be able to purchase anything on their own, but they might know somebody that like has a wedding coming up or like loves to cook. So don't like prejudge anybody. Well, that's not important to me. The most important thing to me is just meeting every single person, because I know if I do that, then obviously my business is going to be booming. Does that
Okay.
make sense?
Yeah, because the lady across the street isn't very nice.
It's okay, yeah, like any neighbors. Who do you know that lives on Willow Street?
Willow,
What about Rolling Ridge?
Rolling Ridge. I know somebody that's on there.
Field Point Circle?
No.
What about Mayo Avenue?
Yes.
Do you know anybody that lives on Union? Or who do you know? Who do you know that lives on Wilmot Road?
Well, that's right down the street, right?
Yeah.
And Carol lives there.
Dude, who lives in that massive house that I was just coming by, like you can't miss it. It's like a hotel off the street.
Oh, that's Marianne.
Oh. Shoot, come on.
I don't have her number though.
Well, just write it down. I might be able to get it myself.
Yeah, I just know that she walks her dog all the time, so we walk our dogs together.
Cool. So next time you see her, you might just be able to get a hold of it. So you got to 30, right?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. So what I just need you to do is this way you know who to email. Just take a quick picture, right on your phone. Okay? Now you know exactly who to send it to. There'll be an email right in your mailbox by the end of the night. Okay? And that'll be sent to you as well as an electronic email of your receipt. So here's the order form, and here's my card. And thank you so much. You really helped me out a ton. But let's see if we can get any more just while I'm putting the rest of the stuff back in my block, okay?
Alright.
Alright, perfect. There we go.
Cool. You want to go over any tips of whys you did what you did? I mean, I wasn't here for the whole thing, but is there a reason? Here's a good question. Is there a reason when I saw you, she was interested in the barbecue sat, and she said, "Hey, I'll trade the barbecue sat. Instead of that, I'll get the K-bar." Was there a reason behind not doing? If you get the barbecue sat and the fishing knife, I'll give you the K-bar for free. Do you sometimes save that? Because I thought maybe you were saving it for referrals.
Yeah.
If she gave you 50, you're almost like
yeah,
saving it.
I'd consider it. Depends on how far she gets with like referrals.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, people, you gotta realize, and this is something I talked about with Agatha, they don't know that you can give them stuff for free. So they're not anticipating you giving them stuff for free. So most of the time they're just gonna purchase the product anyway. And I felt like I had a strong enough connection where I could like totally call her up in a contest and be like, hey, I'm really close to winning #1 scholarship in the nation. Like, if there's any way, I know you really like that barbecue set. I'll write that down at the end of the presentation, right? But a couple other things that I wanted to cover.
Sorry, go back to that one more time. So you'll write down things they were interested in but didn't buy. Do you have that list somewhere that you go back to?
Always. Like
that makes sense.
in my
So you have
planner.
3,500 in order over the phone. That makes sense.
Yeah. So I keep a list of anything that they may need, right? And just a couple things. I usually cut the penny right in the beginning, and the kids always remind me for me. I know I cut it sort of towards the middle, but I'd always cut it in the beginning, and I'd tell them, I tell the kid, I have a couple of cool tricks that I'm going to show you during the presentation, and then I cut the penny. They always love that, so I win them over right on their side. I have the kids on my side, and I'm like, you're totally open and allowed to keep here for the presentation, but you're more than welcome. I'll just call you when the tricks are coming. Is that okay? And most of the time, I'm like, yeah, call me when the tricks are coming. So I skipped a lot of stuff in my blue book because, like I said, I'm really brief during my presentation. I explain the scholarship, and I jumped sort of into my demo goal.
That's fine. You can just flip through. I just wanted to get the order for anyone watching.
So this
Goal,
is
customer sign-up.
customer signing. Then I get to this right here. I don't go over everything, but this is the Forever Forbes. This is the Williams and Sonoma $5,800 set. No,
You already walked through this
all
one?
clad.
No, I said somebody watching this is gonna be confused because you went.
No, it's okay.
Okay, so you have your complete set of everything, the complete kitchen. And then I have why is Cutco make a great gift. So then I jump right to here, show them the complete set. I don't have any of the tools, just have a picture, right? Then I go over the names and uses on this page right here. Homemaker, don't have the insert. Cookware.
Do you actually go through the names and uses? Do you just say this is their basic package and then go over names and uses?
Yeah, pre-packaged practical sets. It's all in the video.
Okay.
And I go over a couple of the highlights.
Ah, cool. Yeah, no, I'll just watch the video. So
Yeah.
I just wanted to get the blue book though.
Yep, it has this right here, your cookware. I'd talk about some of these tools. If somebody's really interested in cookware, I'm like, this is our 10-quart stock pot. What's cool about it is you can actually cook 21 ears of corn with a half a cup of water.
Did you go over that in the demo?
I usually go over it if somebody's inclined with cookware. So there's areas for improvement in my demo, I'm sure. And understand that I close on the packages not with the intention of they're going to purchase every single time. I close on the packages as a drop down and for them to inflate their, in their mind what they're going to get. So when I start at $10,000, $2,000 to them seems like, man, I got rid of a lot of stuff and I'm at $2,000. Yeah, that seems about right. So a $2,000 order seems like minute according to the $10,000 that I started at. And even if they don't have $10,000, they might look at me like that I'm crazy. But I believe in the product. I believe that somebody should get that much, and that's something I can't teach. But realize that people do buy this stuff. So you will get that complete kitchen, and then you can reference it for the rest of the time. I name drop so much during my presentation. That's something that's really key as well. And so I also mentioned that as a forever guarantee. This is what the homemaker set looks like. I go over the flatware and then I have a comparison for them to just take a look. And as you see right here, you have table settings 207 and 268, and then Cutco is closer to $100 a place, I think. And I go over the gifts and accessories, and I tell them, who do you know that needs a gift?
Yeah, I heard that part.
Okay.
And then the rest of this order is the same. Pretty
Yeah,
much?
the rest of the order is the same. I just make sure I stop, and then I don't know if you guys noticed, but whenever somebody touches my blue book, I immediately put a hand on it, and I'm like, don't worry, I'm totally gonna get to everything. I know you're excited. I make sure that people don't have control over my demo, and I'm controlling the pace.
Now, when you sell sets, do you sell them with or without flatware?
Yeah, with or without flour.
All of them?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right.
And just a couple other really key points. Recommendations, you guys got to watch what I was doing. I was dropping all the big schools that people send their children to that are really expensive. So I asked about all those, right? And yeah, these are the package sets, and then I close on this one.
Yeah.
And I just make it seem like people do this all the time. Don't sit there all jittery, oh my God, you just bought $10,000 worth. You sit there, relax. People do this all the time, and people just get the notion that people do this all the time, and eventually people will start doing it all the time because that's what you're reflecting as a professional, and you tell them how everybody else bought the rest of the stuff. But I was mentioning schools that people go to.
Or were those good private, costly private schools in the area?
Yeah, Brunswick is it's $40,000 a year, and you have to have connections to even get your kid in. It's K through 12.
Yeah.
So that's really exclusive. They could raise the tuition to $75,000 if they wanted and still fill the school. And then Resurrection is an elementary school in Rye, and then
All the country clubs. You just looked them up.
I just looked them up.
Streets. The streets you mentioned, were those just the really well-off streets?
Always
Every
when
town's
I'm
got
driving
one.
around, I'll always look at my planner and jot them down as notes, so so I can ask my customers who they know that lives on those streets. So you might hit one person, they'd be able to introduce you to the rest of the block. And Field Point Circle in Greenwich is like the richest block in Greenwich, and it's like the former CEO of Pepsi lives on that block, the former CEO of Apple lives on that block. Like, I was driving by, I'm like, who the hell lives in these houses? And then it finally made sense when I found out who did live there. So you can look it up. Like, I just looked up people that live in Greenwich that are powerful. Like, there's a list of like celebrities you can look online, and then you can type it into Wikipedia. There's a list for like any really well-off town. There's a list on Wikipedia, and then I white pages them. And I just put in their last name. It didn't come up with all of them, but it came up with a bunch of them, and then it came up with their blog. Now I know who I have to look for, and I can name drop, like, do you know the CEO of Apple? I'd mention their name.
Yeah. Do you, with the name dropping, what was I going to say? With the, is there, I remember you talking about a list you got. Was it like a celebrity list in Westchester County? Like, what did you?
Oh, yeah. I got this list that I was just one day, because I actually set up an appointment with Mike D'Antoni and his wife, and I was like, there has to be a list of celebrities, like with the internet and the position that it is nowadays, like there has to be a list. And I looked it up, and I paid $10 for it, and it literally has all like these celebrities, and I just look up people, and they're not all of them, but there's a lot. Like, it's like 56 pages long, so it's got a ton of people.
Yeah.
So,
Do you do something with is there a list of, I'm sure it exists, but have you found a list of like the greatest house value in town? Like ranked by most expensive house in town. Have you ever done something like that? Just something that came up, but that might not be a bad idea. I'm sure you could buy that realtor list with just ranked by, like, hey, who do you,
yeah, I'm sure you could. I just find that the blocks are good.
Okay.
You could just drive by the house, and like, that's the fault people make, is like, you drive by these houses and you're like, man, if I could only sell on that block. You can.
Right.
Like, as long as you're in that neighborhood, you can network your way onto that block. Like, I have blocks that I know I need to get on, and that's it. I ask them for neighborhood directories if they have them, because like, if you're in there's the Greenhaven Estates in Rye, there's a little neighborhood directory for that. If you're in Greenwich, there's the Bellhaven, little secluded area that they have a directory for that. Like, the little set off private estates, they have directories. You just like, I was so direct with how I asked Nicole for directories. It was like, she's gonna do it, and people don't get the vibe off me that I'm like a college kid selling Geico. It's like, this is...
Yeah, you're pretty confident.
Yeah, this is like professional, and this is what everybody does, and it makes sense to do.
How do you dress your appointments?
Shirt and tie and jacket.
Jacket.
It depends, like, on how hot it is out.
Okay.
So
Cool.
always super duper professional. Cutco pins, tie clip, like always. Pretty much all the time clean shaven, like always completely fresh.
Yeah. Cool. Any last minute thoughts?
Don't try and implement everything that I just did in one presentation. Like, it takes time, but something that I did, and it's definitely helped me. I listened to Tyler Park's demo, and I went field training with him. I listened to it before every single one of my presentations, and it helps me like remember the words, and that's why my demo and his are very similar, almost to the point where they're kind of like verbatim. I do a little bit different, he does a little bit different. So we both have our different styles, but he's putting up great results, I'm putting up great results. Just do what other great people have done. Pretty simple.
Cool. Thank you, Mike.